Hi Floss Tube, it's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Wednesday. It's the 7th of October, and this is Chart of the Day video number 86. Welcome. How are you today? I'm doing well. Got my voice back, mostly. The more I talk, the more I lose it. My sinus infection that I've been fighting for a while finally blew up on Sunday, and my one tonsil was swollen up about halfway across my throat, and I sounded literally like a dying frog. But I sound better today, and the tonsil is less swollen. I went to the doctor, got on an antibiotic, and I still feel kind of crappy, which you always do when you start an antibiotic and things start to drain, but I'm doing good. How was your weekend? We had a good weekend. What did we do? I don't know that I remember. Well, we went and met with the kitchen cabinet lady Friday night, and I think we finalized the kitchen with the exception of maybe we've decided to put another window in. We went Saturday afternoon, we went and looked at some more tile, and I decided that what I chose a week ago Monday I still liked, so I think we're going to go with that. And other than that, Sunday I was not feeling good, so I sat in my chair all day, and Monday I did some cleaning, some laundry. It was a pretty boring weekend. Nothing exciting. Didn't go anywhere. Our numbers are skyrocketing. I don't think I'm going to be going to any place anytime soon. So that was my exciting weekend. I hope yours was just as enjoyable as mine was. I did get some stitching in. Not as much as I would have liked, because I didn't stitch, I don't think, at all on Sunday. But anyway, Adam contacted me today. He has strep throat, so we're dropping like flies in my family. I'm sure one of his girls is going to get it next. As you know, kids, they don't keep their distance. So anyway, let's talk about the question of the day from my last video, which was now I've lost it. I just had it. Oh, what did you want to be when you grow up? Or when you were little. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little? I said stewardess. There were a couple of us out there that wanted to be a stewardess that weren't tall enough and didn't have the right figure for it. Sorry, tickle. Doesn't seem like too many people. There were a few of you, but not too many people actually grew up to be what they wanted to be when they were like 5 years old. But that's okay. That's a very young age to try and figure out your entire life. I think 18 is a very young age to try and figure out your entire life. Hell, I'm 60 and I'm still trying to figure out my entire life. So I don't know how these kids these days do it. But anyway, thank you for responding to that. There were some very interesting things that you wanted to be. Today's chart of the day comes from Madame Chantilly. It is called Autumn Garland, and it looks like that. You can also just do this part, which is just the nest with the birds. There is another bird in here. You can't see it very well. That little bird there caused me no end of trouble when I was trying to find fabric. Not the easiest piece to find fabric, different options. I found one that I really liked, but to find different options, it was hard. There's a close-up of the little pillow, and you can just barely see that baby bird there in the nest. What can I tell you about this chart? Not a heck of... Where did I put the... her chart's there. Her charts tend to be a little bit more. This one is $14.65. This stitch count is 151 by 286, which on a 32 count makes the finished size about an 8 by 7, somewhere in there. It calls for DMC floss, which I have right here. I did have to make a substitution for the 3371 because that has now been back ordered 3 weeks in a row, and I don't have any. And this, see this little color right here, is just 842. That is that little bird, and he's a problem child. So what did I come up with? Most of it is neutrals. I really liked most of these colors on Earthen from Picture This Plus, but Little Bird didn't show up. And I tried finding a substitute for Little Bird, but I didn't find anything that I felt really kept the color palette the way it should be. So I just had to adjust my fabric choices. This is a 32 count vintage exemplar from Lakeside Linens. It has kind of a pinky cast to it, and I think everything will show up on there, including Little Bird. So that's a pretty good option. Not my favorite, but a pretty good option. This is 18 count fawn, F-A-U-N, not to be confused with fawn, F-A-W-N. This is a Picture This Plus. The other one is a Lakeside Linens. This has a tendency to have a little bit of a pink cast to it, and so I really do kind of like it on there, but I'm not sure that Little Baby Bird is going to show up a lot. I think he'll show up, but I don't think he's going to show up a lot. But I do kind of like this fabric for it. Liberty Gathering Gray. This is a 36 count. Everything pretty much shows up on here, so no problems with Baby Bird. I used to, when I was 3 and 4, I think, we lived in a little town called North Bend, Nebraska, and in our garage, the birds always built nests. And so I'd get up in the morning and I'd go out to the garage, and there'd be these little baby birds laying on the garage floor. You know, the ones with no feathers on them because they're so young. And I would always try and rescue them and save them, and they always died. And so I am a bird killer, which is why I'm so concerned about this baby bird, because I don't want him to disappear and be nothing. This is probably my favorite choice. It's just raw natural, but everything shows up well on it. Has that kind of softness to it that the picture does. So I do like this one. This is probably my favorite choice. Not exciting, but it looks good. And Summer Khaki will work too. It's a little bit darker. Going to give you a little bit different look, but everything will show up on it also. I also used to collect toads long about that age. I like toads, and I would collect toads, and I would bring them in the house and try and keep them as a pet. And but I was 3 or 4, so maybe going on 5. I thought if I put them in a cardboard Kleenex box and put a Kleenex over the opening, that would keep the toad in the box, and of course it never did. And so my toads always disappeared too. Mom was not very happy with me that there were toads running around in her house. Oh well, we all survived the toad invasion. So that is your chart of the day. That's, yeah. Question, can you tell it's late in the day? It's been a busy day, but I wanted to do a video. My brain's just not really working so well. It's full of stuff from my sinus infection, so it's hard to think. Question of the day. It's a simple one, but you're probably going to have to think about it. What is your favorite color of DMC? My favorite DMC color, you're probably going to find a little bit strange. You probably think it's green because I'm a green person, but it's not. My favorite color, the one that I think is the most beautiful color out of all those pretty colors that are over there, is actually not a color that I would probably ever, well, I'm sure I've stitched with it, but it's not a color I would ever decorate with. But I do think it's a really beautiful color. It's 154, which is that deep kind of reddish purple color. And I just think it is the most beautiful color. It's not going to show on here. You'll have to go down to your DMC stash and look at it if you really want to know. But it is a beautiful color. It just doesn't show up here. So I was just curious because I was thinking about, I was putting DMC away and I'm like, oh, I just love that color. Which made me think what your favorite is. So please share with me. Let's see. Out of the stash at last. Tonight is Wednesday. So this is the last night for stitching on week 1's project. I've made pretty good progress on my first choice. So I'm pleased with that. I kind of don't want to put it away, but I'm going to. So remember to post your final picture for the week before 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning to be eligible for the drawing. And then also make sure you post your starting picture for week number 2 and give everyone the information about the chart and the fabric and the floss and anything else you want to share. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who's participating. It's been a lot of fun to see things. There's things that I have in my stash. There's that you've reminded me of. There's things I've never seen before, which is always fun. I've had several people contact me and tell me this was a really good idea, that they're enjoying working on some of their older things. So thank you for participating in that. Yeah, 10 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you've posted your ending and your beginning by then. Well, the beginning, not necessarily. If you don't get that posted right then, that's fine. But definitely the ending, because you can't be eligible for the drawing without that. And at 10 o'clock, I will be writing down the names of everybody who's posted both their start and their finish. So anything that comes in after that, I'm sorry, but you won't be in the drawing. What else do I want to tell you? Not a whole lot. Dan went to the thrift store this weekend. He was supposed to be looking for a hutch because of the remodel we're going to be doing. I'm actually going to lose 2 large china hutches. I have one in my kitchen and I have one in the dining room, and there won't be room in the kitchen for either one of them anymore. but I still have all my pretties that I want to display. So I told him if he could find me a smaller scale, because the two that I have are huge, a smaller scale hutch. I could put it on the wall kind of by his stitching chair and still display some of my pretty stuff. And so he stopped in to see if he could find something, and he didn't, but he did find some flower frogs and some vessels. So he brought those home for me. And let's see, what else? That's about it. Amy and Emily are coming maybe for a visit this week. They arrive on Friday. I'm a little concerned about them traveling at this point because the numbers are so high. I'm really worried about it. But it's up to them whether they come. Adam said he would reimburse them for their plane tickets if they can't get it, delayed for another time when maybe the numbers are down again. But they're supposed to arrive Friday, and Abby was going to bring Reese in and spend the night, which means Abby would have to sleep in the bed that used to be Amy's, and that mattress is old. It's old and uncomfortable, and I told Dan, I said, maybe tonight we should go and get a new mattress for that bed. And he said, well, Emma sleeps in there and she doesn't mind it. And I'm like, well, Emma weighs next to nothing. Abby's a grown adult. She's not going to like that. But I don't know if we'll do that or not. Again, the thought of going, you can't just pick a mattress from online. You kind of got to lay on them. So I don't know what we'll do about that. So that may be what we do this evening rather than stitch. But we'll see. Other than that, I got nothing. I hope you're getting a lot of stitching in. I hope you're being safe, staying safe. And I'm going to call this good, and I'll see you the next time. Hopefully I'll have time tomorrow to do another one. But if not, take care until the next time I see you. And happy stitching. Bye.